Hey YouTube, what's up? Dr. T here, and welcome to the Altcoin Express and my hometown, St. Petersburg, Florida. So I'm pacing through the Giro d'Italia, having found out that Froome's riding, and he seems to be in a spot of bother. He was on at 2 minutes in the last stage, and I'm up to stage 11, and now he's not there. So I'm just going to carry on down the road and see what happens. So it looks like Cavendish is probably peaking out or gone. He is not placed anywhere near anything as far as I can see. And this is not exactly early in the season. If you're not kind of on form now, then you're certainly not going to be in a couple of months' time, that's for sure. So yeah, good performance for Yates. His brother did reasonably well in the Tour of California. I vaguely remember I was watching that earlier on. And Sky's got a new style with the Colombian guy, so it'll be interesting to see if he gets bumped up to the Tour de France. Probably will. I mean, he's another potential climb lead out for Froome if he's got that kind of power, and he'll need it as well. Yeah. So stage 13 being flat. I don't know whether Cavendish has dropped out or not, but it's a little surprising. And Froome's not on the leaderboard, so that doesn't bode well for his Tour de France performance, unless he's really not trying. Can't see that somehow. Oh, incidentally, I bought myself Fitbit Charge 2, which is a one of these data collecting strip band watches, $110, and yeah, I posted my first run on it yesterday. It was raining, there was a little window, so I went out and I clipped out half an hour. I wasn't feeling too strong, so yeah, I just hit 125 average heart rate with a considered push towards the end. That's where the spike comes from, in this slow last belabouring 400 meters. And yeah, while you're here, we'll take a look at the local health charts. So the heat is coming up, and yeah, I got this data from, this spreadsheet goes back a bunch of years, so I averaged all of the numbers. So this year 124 average is doing quite well relative to other years, although the number of performances are down. So above 130 I put in orange because that's kind of a more premium performance. That means I'm getting lots of 140s. The regions below there, so not doing too bad. I'm getting some in there. There's enough power there to keep going. The regional best 400 here is 622. It wasn't flat out. I'm not pushing myself to super efforts at this time of the year, but every so often when there's a little power there, I'll kind of give it a run. And we're coming up to that shortly. I'm going to have a good attack at 6 minute mile pace this year. In 2015 I clocked 5:52 in that one run. So we're going to see how we do this year. You know, I can't copy this. I can't video this because it's copyright infringement. So, but I can take pictures. I see Froome a little ways back there. So he is in this group, but whether he's going to make any time up, we'll see as the thing goes on. So there's our boy with one of his teammates. If he can pull one through, he could really pull up a bit here, hoping that he does gain a bit of placement anyway. Now things are looking better. He's got a teammate in front of him and plenty of other strong people around to kind of keep up the chase though. So yeah, it looks like he's pushing to win the stage here, which will be quite nice if this shows it happening. Oh wow, look at Froome really leaving him in the dust, my golly. Nicely done. He should pick up some time there. Maybe he'll move up to, oh, maybe 5th place, something like that would be good to see. We'll come along shortly when they put the information. Yeah, that was a good call. He's moved up to 5th, but is way, way, way down. He'd need another spectacular couple of rides to even get on the podium. I mean, there's 1.5 minutes to catch up to get to the podium. So if there isn't any more big, heavy stages, then that's it. So Yates wins 3 stages. That's pretty impressive. That's really impressive. Look, there's nobody anywhere near him. This guy is really coming to his own. I don't know how old he is, but yeah, we'll see how he does. I saw him last year in the Tour de France with his brother, and they were kind of, you know, they weren't so hot. But his younger brother, being younger, is not as strong as of yet. But we'll see how he performs in July. So there you go. You must be a fan of his. Get one of these mountain stages on your little cycling gizmo in your garage and away to go. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, that was sad. That must have tired Froome out because he sucked big time in this stage. He's dropped a couple of minutes, hasn't he? Really. However, it was a gallant effort. Nice to see him win the stage. So Chris Froome was 5th in the time trial. Doesn't really pick up much time on anybody. Oh wow, he did pick up some time. He's in 4th place. Yo, he's got a possibility chance of getting on the podium. There needs to be a big difficult stage for him to make. So I'm going to go look for your last email. And you can see a big event coming up for yours truly. End of this month I've got a colonoscopy coming up. It's been 5 years down the road. And lots of horrible salt water to drink. It'll go down alright. So I've uploaded your part of your email onto Paint, so it's private enough. Yeah, that's very interesting, that thing you've got. I appreciate, like online gaming, you've just got a video. Presumably you've got a video of the terrain going along, like there's a camera, and if there are other people in there, and the bike adapts its stress to the terrain, and wow, that must be awesome. I can imagine that if there was a virtual reality thing there available and you could just look around and see the terrain all the way around you, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, that's really a great impetus for keeping you motivated in the winter when you can't get out and you can do these fantastic kind of little rides and the like. Great. Wow, he's a happy little guy. He's a really happy little guy. And hello, Papa, and once again, congratulations to finishing your Titanic training. I'm sure it's a relief to have that out of the way, so you can now, and getting a job where you needed it, which is just wonderful really for you, and I'm so happy for you. And yeah, looking to see number 2. Number two is a good number. I mean, being one person is an absolute disaster, but 2 children is absolute perfect. And yeah, we'll look forward to hearing that news when it comes around. See, I checked the rest of your news out. There's nothing really to respond to there, so I'll just continue with my little lot. Yeah, it's so much easier doing this because I can take to my Facebook stuff and go through that. So I put this post up recently for whatever reason, and I'll read it. I had to take a big break from computer science, coding, whatever. My head is slowly getting back into the game. The problem with the coding was the coding environment. Let me show you. So this is the coding environment. I'm not trying to impress you, I'm just showing you what I'm up to. This is the current version that I am working with, and I do development in the development file. So this, I'll put the video up. This is the grid of the my brain's not working. Well, it will work eventually. Yeah, sorry about that. This is the graphics grid, and you have to choose what to do. Move up, right, left, down in the grid. That's what that does. You have to reset it when it reaches its goal. That's what that does. And you have to get it to make a move. And there's other busy stuff in here. So it gets to move variously on the grid based on this data here, whether it's up or down or left or right. And that's just basically that bit. So that's that. So a while back that was throwing up a real silly mess of something that didn't exist, so I just quit. So just before my 70th birthday, July 2015, I became interested in computer science. A Harvard degree requires 12 course units, basic, and 14 to honours. So I pondered doing 12 to 14 courses and empowering myself with that degree of, so let's say, knowledge, awareness. So far I've done number 1, Harvard CS50, Introduction to Computer Science, mostly the intro stuff in C coding. The main homework blocks were completed in Python last year on a rerun through. The course introduces a variety of languages and they get changed occasionally. They dropped one and brought Python in because it's the number 1 language right now. And in that same first year or there afterwards, I did linear algebra from MIT. So here's the linear algebra course from 2005, lectured by Gilbert Strang, who's the godfather in this business. I also bought the book so that I could take a look at the book as well. So going on, you can tell who's a genius as they basically don't use notes, just helper guidelines. Done and done. Didn't quite get into the eigenfunction stuff enough, but it's a pass, so done. Not from any particular course, but basic Python coding skills, so done. Number 4, Stanford CS231, Convolutional Neural Networks for Computer Vision, Basic Neural Networks 101. This course was mostly constructed by Andrew Karpathy, graduated in 2016, now is Director of Artificial Intelligence at Tesla, and thus works for Elon Musk. Salary somewhere between 1 to 2 million. That's conservative. This course sets the bar on how computer science should be taught as it employs the use of pseudocode examples. Most courses I've come across do not teach the code. I think it's a mistake. They do labs, but still, with one exception, namely algorithms, so a very deep course during the time frame. Give or take, I spent a lot of time learning how to code a single layer neural network, which I won't show you, in Python, otherwise known as an ANN, artificial neural network. Deep neural networks involve more than one hidden layer, so I have the basics down. Got people coming in. I'm wishing somebody happy birthday. This course is so full of stuff, it's basically a tutorial to be revised time and time again, so done. MIT 6.042, Math for Computer Science. I bought the book and read it, 900 pages, mostly with the exceptions of the probability section, which truly is a course into itself, somewhat nibbled at. You don't actually read this book, you mostly scream and pursue the next section. Well, you try and read it, it's friggin' heavy, but I did mostly semi-read, skip through what was necessary. I went through all the lectures. This course is your worst nightmare. That's true. Done in principle, but must be revisited. The math, even for me, is a titanic nightmare. So completed, but not truly done. Algorithms started barely. I coded one example, but it's pending. I just kind of got fed up with doing that, and I just moved right along into the next adventure, which started off at the beginning of the show, which is moving up to what I'm really interested in. There are no courses in the subject Introduction to Reinforcement Learning, a subfield of artificial intelligence. I have completed the course by David Silver of DeepMind, who was the leader on developing the AlphaGo project, if you're familiar with that. If you're not, well, never mind. And read some of the Bible, the PDF version of Reinforcement Learning, an introduction to by Sutton, who's the godfather of this subject matter. and I think Silver studied under him. Either he did his PhD or did some postdoc there. Basically done regarding understanding the code of one project, which is still ongoing. I've got most of the code done, but I've got some technical stuff I need to solve, and my head is really kind of not wanting to think right now, but it will get done. Everything gets solved. I've never moved forward without solving any problem, and they can take titanic amounts of time, days, but they get solved eventually. You've got no one to help me. You just got to go and mug online, see what you can find out, and then just grit your way through it. Currently coding reinforcement learning, Q-learning project GridWorld. This is highlighted in the course that follows on from Artificial Intelligence and Introduction. The course at Berkeley, given by Peter Abel. In lecture 10, it features this and gives the examples, although it's not part of the homework as such. So GridWorld, the GridWorld is done, and the rest of the code mostly done. I'm going to take a quick look at that. So this is the course, which I've not really bothered to get into too much. I just kind of skimmed through the stuff on what I'm coding into. So here is the grid from that course. I've got this thing done. I'll show you that. I've just got to work out how to get the numbers done in there. Coding is basically done. So let's move on to a little show of that. So I've got this locked down to the near top because I'm working on some problems, but it will run from everywhere. So there's the grid I've got, and I showed you the code, and it will start from down here and run and click there and revert, run there and click there and revert, run up here, click there, revert, run up here, click there and revert. So that's that. And I'm working on getting these numbers in here, which has been a major problem. Yeah, so that leads us to Berkeley CS 188, which is what I just showed you, an introduction to artificial intelligence. Started, GridWorld is reviewed in lecture 10, I just showed you that, and I'm starting to nibble at the book. Yeah, so this is today's post with these pics at the bottom. There's the book, and I'll show you that. It's called Artificial Intelligence. The only thing is it's definitely not intelligent, nor is it artificial, far from it. Now there is some English prose therein, but be not fooled, this is nothing less than advanced applied mathematics, and it works. Only works and has any meaning through computer code. There is not a single line of code in this 1100 page book. It's the basic theory, albeit mathematical. Well, this now finally is on my desk, and it's like, read it and come back when you have. Ha ha, oh shit. Okay, let's get it out of the way. I'm nibbling like a mouse. The pick is the math related to the current project I'm doing in GridWorld. Now, I have a lot of respect for my legal friends. Now, medicine is a whole different ball game from law. What I do is artificial intelligence and heading towards specialization of deep reinforcement learning. It's the code that will run self-driving cars in the future. Now, also, I have great respect for my medical colleagues, and both my children are both medics, but this stuff is in a different universe altogether. Both law and medicine have one thing in common, namely it's basically English. This stuff is math, period. Just about to get back on the horse and move on down the road. So that's the book sitting by the side of me. And this equation here is the one for crunching the numbers that get fed back through that grid. This is the reward that gets put back into those various aspects of the grid when the agent goes around and picks it up. That's all coded, and I just need to learn how to put that in there. And that's that. Yeah, so enough for now. I'll deal with the cryptocurrency stuff later. There's plenty for you to peruse here and pick up on my news, and I'll then post another one with whatever else is left over. Hope you're doing good and that you enjoyed your little holiday in Wales. Presumably that's kind of way back down the road now. So signing off.